Have you ever found yourself stuck over a decision so simple it shouldn't matter? Like what to eat for dinner, or whether to reply a text. And yeah, your mind spins endlessly. You weigh every option, imagine every possible scenarios, replay a conversation you had hours ago, and at the end, you do nothing. Or maybe you're lying in bed at night, and your brain won't stop reviewing everything that happens that day. The things you said, the things you didn't do, and every single what if you can imagine. If this sounds familiar, congratulations. You're caught in the classic trap of overthinking. And while it's incredibly common, it can quietly steal your energy, increase stress, and even block your ability to act in life. Overthinking isn't just thinking too much. It's repetitive, unproductive thinking that doesn't solve any problem, but amplify stress and anxiety. It's a mental loop that tricks you into believing you're preparing for life, when really you're just spinning in place. Why our brains love overthinking. Let's dig into why this happens. Understanding the why is the first step toward breaking free. The first reason is the illusion of control. Life is unpredictable. Jobs, relationships, health. Even what might happen tomorrow. So much is outside your control. Your brain hates uncertainty. It thinks, if I run through every possible scenario, I can prevent disaster. This gives a brief sense of safety, but it's an illusion. Stress might temporarily feel manageable, but in reality, you're keeping yourself in heightened states of alert. The truth is, most things you worry about will never happen. Yet, your brain treats them as if they could. Number 2 is fear of mistakes and regret. Perfectionism fuels overthinking. Many overthinkers are terrified of making the wrong decision. Every choice feels monumental because they believe mistakes equal failure. So the mind loops, if I do this, what happens? What if the other option is better? Will I regret it later? Regret becomes a magnet, keeping the mind spinning until no decision is made at all. Number 3 is anxiety and chronic stress. The stress hormones, like cortisol, play a big role. When anxiety is high, the brain stays in overdrive, scanning for danger even in safe situations. Overthinking feels like a release, a way to manage the stress, but it actually adds fuel to the fire. Sleep suffers, energy drops, and the cycle continues. Overthinking becomes the mind's default mode for staying safe, even when it's counterproductive. The next reason is past experience and subconscious patterns. Our brains love patterns. If you've been criticized, rejected, or even experienced minor traumas, your mind learns to replay past mistakes endlessly. Why did I do that? What if I had said this instead? It's trying to protect you from future pain. Short term, it's defensive mechanism. Long term, it keeps you trapped in the past, unable to fully engage in the present. Number 5 is avoiding emotional processing. Overthinking often hides an underlying truth, unprocessed emotions. Instead of sitting with a feeling, anger, sadness, anxiety, the brain converts it into a problem to solve. So instead of thinking, I'm angry, that's okay, you spiral into, why am I angry? Who's to blame? Could I have done something differently? And overthinking replaces emotional processing with mental analysis. But how overthinking affects life? The effects are everywhere, often subtle until they become overwhelming. Physically, chronic fatigue, tension, headaches, insomnia, mentality, increased anxiety, feeling trapped, low motivation, relationships being less present, miscommunication, growing distance, undecision making, analysis paralysis, thinking so much that opportunities pass by, and daily life low focus, reduced creativity, and inability to enjoy simple things like a meal or conversation. But here's the thing, overthinking doesn't just affect what you think, it affects how you feel, how you act, and even how your body responds to stress. It's a full spectrum drain on life. Let's make it concrete, like choosing a meal in a restaurant, scrolling the menu for 10 minutes, imagining pros and cons of every option, or lying in bed at night, replying a text you sent earlier. Did I sound stupid? Should I have worded it differently? Or preparing for a meeting, imagining every possible reaction and outcome. So we will end up saying nothing at all. Sounds familiar? That's your brain spinning wheels. And the worst part, it feels like productivity. You think you're preparing or protecting yourself, but really, you're wasting energy on nothing. How to break the cycle? Here's the practical part. There is no single fix, but there are ways to regain control. The key is understanding why each approach works and actually practicing it. The first one is awareness. The first step is simply notice when it's happening. When you catch yourself going over and over the same thoughts, pause and say, I'm overthinking right now. A simple act immediately activates the rational part of your brain, reducing the emotional hijack. Think of it as hitting the pause button on autopilot. Do this repeatedly, it becomes a habit, and your mind starts recognizing the loop before it spins out of control. The next option is interrupting the loop physically. Once you notice the loop, give it a strong signal to stop. Pick the word like stop or enough. Say it, then do something physical. Take 5 deep breaths. Clench and release your fists. Walk around, or even splash water on your face. This triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that says, relax, you're safe now. Over time, your brain learns that obsessive thinking doesn't have to control your body. The next is schedule worry time. Another effective method is scheduling your worry time. Set aside 15-20 minutes a day for worry time and tell yourself, not now, I'll think about it later. When that window opens, evaluate your concerns. Are they real, actionable, important? If yes, think about it briefly. If not, let them go. This gives structure to your mind and prevents it from occupying your entire day. The other one is writing to organize thoughts. Put your thoughts on paper or your phone. Ask yourself, is this thoughts based on reality? Is this helpful for solving the problem? What are the worst, best, and most likely outcome? Writing externalize your thoughts. It clarifies what's real and what's imagined. Spending even 5 minutes nightly can dramatically reduce mental clutter. The other way to break that cycle is mindfulness and present awareness. Take small daily steps to bring your mind into the present. 5 conscious breaths, filling each inhale and exhale, or a brief body scan from toes to head, noticing your surrounding, sounds, temperature, texture of your chair, anything. The last but not the least is movement and physical release. Exercise is surprisingly effective. 10 to 20 minutes of walking, yoga, dancing, or stair climbing release endorphins, lower stress hormones, and clears mental fog. People often notice repetitive thoughts fade after even brief activity. Overthinking is a habit, not your identity. You are bigger than you thought. By practicing awareness, interrupting loops, schedule worry, writing, mindfulness, and movement, you can reclaim mental space, make decisions more easily, and truly engage in life. In the end, if this video helped, join me on this journey toward a calmer, more focused mind. Thank you.